Really, you never want to buy the second wine on the wine list because Michelin-star restaurants are extremely similar to gas stations. That's the best explanation I can think of. My name is Garry and I'm a WCC3 qualified sommelier, and today we are going to reveal the wine secrets of top-notch restaurants that make them millions of profit every year. Honestly, the business model of a Michelin-star restaurant and a gas station is quite similar. What do you think? How gas stations make their profit? Probably selling gas? No, of course not. They wouldn't be able even to make the ends meet if only it was about selling gas. The statistics say that they make only 3 to 7 cents per gallon after taxes, labor cost and everything. In the UK, it's a couple of pennies per liter. And it's exactly the same with Michelin-star restaurants and basically all the restaurants probably except some cheapest bistro that don't serve wine. Really, wine is the thing that makes every food venture profitable, because if you sell just food, you have a lot of risks. To make a dish, you gotta have different products and several cooks to put it together. Products have expiry dates, there are leftovers that often go to the trash bin. However, it's not the same with wine. As long as you store wine at the right temperature, it will be fine almost forever. Obviously not forever, because wine also has its potential for aging and shelf life, but definitely it lives longer than just food. And the margins on wine are way higher than on food. Like, the basic rule for pricing wine in a restaurant is x3 from the retail price of the bottle. It means that if in a supermarket or even at the special wine shop the bottle costs $20, you'll pay $60 for it in a restaurant. But this rule serves well only for the basic wines that cost up to a couple of $100, I believe. If we talk about the most prestigious top-class wines, which obviously are served only at the very best restaurants, here the ratio can be x4 or x5 from the retail price. If you are going to a restaurant and you're a wine lover, probably you would like to think in terms of price value for each wine on the list. And that is why you should never buy the second wine on the list, but a bit later about that. Like, for instance, if they offer you Yellowtail or Barefoot for $80 a bottle, probably there is something wrong with this particular place, because in retail this bottle costs around $10 and you expect it to be like 30 in a restaurant. Or even you don't expect Yellowtail in a good restaurant. Even in this price range there are better options. And with wine by glasses it's even less complicated. Normally the price of one glass in a restaurant is from a half to the entire price of the bottle in retail. So if you are a bar owner, restaurant owner, probably there are a couple of you who watch my videos now, if you sell the whole bottle by glasses, you make 6 times profit. Simple math, right? Of course, you are at risk that only one person will order one glass of this wine and you'll have to pour the rest into the sink in a couple of days, but there are wine preservation systems and there is marketing that says that by glasses you pour only the wines that you are 100% sure people will order, like Sauvignon Blanc, like Oak Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, these types of things. And by the way, if you are into the world of wine or you just love fine dining, consider subscribing to my free newsletter. I'll just share my tasting experience once a week there, occasionally some wineries or restaurants I visit. I think it's a better way to communicate than just in comments on YouTube. The link to subscribe is in the description below. The next insight I use often myself creating a wine list is the positioning of the restaurant. The local bistro that serves wine and the Michelin-star restaurant have very different approaches to maximizing the wine sales. In cheaper restaurants, we always focus on the speed of consumption. We have a lot of people dining there, but don't have a lot of budget to buy the best wines in the world, so we just try to maximize the efficiency of wine sales by selling faster. Well-known, reliable brands, sometimes even mass market, but it's nothing wrong with that. People want a simple glass of wine at a reasonable price, and we, as a restaurateur and a sommelier, we just give it to them. But on the other side of the spectrum, we have Michelin-starred restaurants where they just cannot serve barefoot wine, right? For an upper price point restaurant, we always do wine pairings to each of the dishes, so we advise a customer the particular wine for a certain dish. This approach is a bit more complicated because a restaurant have to have a lot of different wines to pair each course, but at the same time it's where the money is made. Like in a Michelin-star restaurant, even not 2-3 stars, like the most basic 1 star or even Bib Gourmand, you have $100 main course and almost the same price for wine pairing. That's the thing I've been talking about in the beginning of the video. The margins on wine in restaurants are way higher than on food. And do you know what is the most profitable wine in the list for the restaurant owner? Yes, it's the second cheapest wine. Although recently there was a couple of researchers trying to prove that it's a myth, just believe me. In most cases, the second cheapest wine is still the one with the most margins, because it's just human psychology. Most of us are not millionaires and we do pay attention to the prices in restaurants. But it's not a very comfortable decision to order the cheapest wine on the list, right? We think like, oh, what the sommelier of the restaurant would think of me. The second cheapest option often seems to be a sweet spot that it's not that expensive, but it's not cheap as well, like almost the middle price range, you know? And obviously, all the restaurant owners know that. If they don't, a professional sommelier sure knows about that little trick, and they just put the wine with lower price-value ratio on the second cheapest position. This bottle itself may cost like $15, but it will be like 17 by glasses or 50 the whole bottle. So if you're a wine lover and restaurant habitué, maybe you'd like to pay attention to some other positions which will probably have better price ratio value. It's not always like that, but just be careful with the second wine on the list, okay? And if you're a restaurant owner or just want to start a wine bar or something, you just should be aware of this little trick. It's your decision to use it or not, but I just give the information. Another popular trick in a restaurant menu is that they put expensive wines in the first 2 or 3 positions, probably not the most expensive wines they have in the cellar, but from the upper price category, and then continue with the normal middle to low price range wines. And what for? It's once again human psychology. When you open the wine list and see the prices like $600, $800, $1,000 per bottle, you just start being a little bit nervous, right? Is it the right place? Because personally, I don't want to spend $1,000 on a bottle of wine today. But then you see the rest of the options that may vary anywhere from $50 to $100, maybe a couple of $100s per bottle, and you're like, calm down and think, it's okay, I can handle that, everything's fine. And then a $100 bottle seems like a steal near all these top wines that cost 10 times more. Agree? It's all about making it easier for the customer to relax, enjoy, and just pay the money. Again, not all the restaurants do that trick, but probably you've seen it a couple of times. For the exact same reason, sometimes they don't put the currency symbol in front of the prices, in order to break the tie between dining experience and the money it costs in the mind of the consumer. In a fine restaurant, you don't want to think about money. People just want to enjoy the ambience, the experience, the views out of the window, and they just don't want to be reminded about the money one more time. The same with cents, and sometimes even with round numbers. It's okay to pay $9.99 for a meal in a local fast food place, but in a fine restaurant, it's not an appropriate thing, you know? And the more expensive the restaurant, the more abruptly they cut the corners. In one Michelin-Starred restaurant, you can sometimes find a menu for 27 euros at lunchtime. Not always, not in all restaurants, but there are such places. But in a 3 Michelin stars restaurant, it's just not possible. Only round numbers, occasionally without currency signs. And there are links to my social networks in the description if you want to contact me directly on potential collaboration or just for any reason. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.